speaking of niggas getting the beats, seems like Rory from the Joe Budden podcast wants to motherfucking give this nigga Joe the beats, man, for all of the shit that's been happening. Well, all of the shit they've been going through with the Joe Budden podcast collapsing in front of our eyes, the shit is like a motherfucking soap opera.
It's like playing Jenga.
Dog, it's amazing watching the parts. No, it's like seeing the Jenga board collapsed already and wondering what it led to the collapse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What bars got pulled out that led to that collapse, and it is like intriguing as fuck. Like him aligning with DJ Akademks. Akademks now. That nigga don't DJ no more or something. And not really even defending the podcast members that's on his own shit. And he the one that set up the attack on DJ Akademks. You know what I'm saying? Like the verbal narrative creation that we was gonna bash this nigga. And so they started doing that. And they bashed their way into some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? On his kind of like whim. Like he talked shit.
I didn't know that part.
He talked a lot of shit with them niggas about DJ Akademks. And it led to DJ Akademks going, you know what? I'm a real nigga. I fuck with Joe. And I still do. I'm not the one to talk shit about niggas without niggas being present. That's not me, so I'm not gonna do that. A lot of that nigga time he spent not talking shit about Joe in particular. But that nigga made it a point to go at what he calls the two stooges.
He was some of them niggas.
And it was
these bum ass niggas.
And it was only after Rory had put something, a card in that nigga mailbox.
Right, I remember that.
It was only after that nigga really started going crazy on them niggas.
So what is Joe Budden Akademks about to do?
You never fucking know. Like, maybe nothing. All I know is Akademks was calling it out a long time ago that he don't need those two niggas. It'll be a lot cheaper to do whatever he's doing without y'all two because it's independent and he really out here making a killing. So if you could get rid of the percentage-based niggas, then you can be more winning. You know what I'm saying? That was probably his plan in the first place. And he set that ball to roll and we watched it. Like, the nigga was on there saying wild shit. Like, wild shit. Just seeing some of those clips back, it's like, holy fuck. Like, he literally sat there and was like, no, let me stop talking shit, Parks, cause this is our $5 million studio, our brand new $10 million studio. And he started laughing, and he was like, first rule of business, creators, first rule of business, you fudge the numbers. And that nigga Rory looked at that nigga like, for real? And you can see that nigga Maul going, you know what I'm saying? Because they were building that case the entire time. So watching some of this shit back, it's like, this nigga Joe was he drunk on every episode when them niggas was coming in? Was he getting like lit like what the fuck is his problem? Because he was giving up the whole fucking story. I'm like, this is great. They was building their case the entire time. I feel like some of these YouTubers are like them. Probably.
Damn, so I'm looking at it from a different perspective knowing that now.
It's wow. Like, the whole plan was to erase them niggas. Like, once they signed that Spotify deal, he realized that was the worst decision that they've ever made. That he had ever made in business. In podcast business. Was allowing he looked at what actually are still employees, a percentage-based contract because they was owed more. And he was making it seem like their percentage wasn't their percentage. And shit costed way more than it did so that it wasn't their percentage anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much what happened. They say $400K went missing. Everybody saying this nigga paid his child support with it or something. I don't know. But it's wild. The stories that's circulating. Then this nigga end up getting accused of sexual harassment, which
I seen that.
It was lightweight sexual harassment, dog. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Like, I get it that you on the camera and you playing like a character, and that's the character that you portray whenever you're on camera, but it was weird looking. The shit looked weird. Like, it just looked weird, dog. Like seeing all that shit, seeing
So
her
what do you
face.
think is next? 'Cause I know you were an avid fan,
Yeah,
and I'm seeing one of my hip hop friends, so woman, asks like, Joe Budden podcast fans, y'all all right?
Man, it's all I know is I'm enjoying the show that's happening thus far. I love seeing the YouTubers that are the sleuths just put it all together. As soon as the fucking one of his episodes airs, them niggas go put it all together. Nigga, like, oh yeah, based on what he said on this episode and what Maul was saying on episode 27 and what he said on the fucking response, here's what we got out of that. And these niggas are putting together dissertations. Like, it's amazing. It's giving me hours and hours worth of content to like digest because of the old shit. You know what I'm saying? And some of the new shit that's coming out about all of the shit. Like, them niggas trying to explain themselves. And that nigga's podcast is suffering because he keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave one of the more recent episodes a shot, and I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Nigga, you're not funny. You were like leaning on them niggas the whole time. You were. It's coming out the bag. You know what I'm saying? You was leaning on them niggas. And it's your name, sure, but them niggas were the show. So, sorry to see you go. Homies. Hopefully Ice and Ish can help them niggas with his like fan base. But I'm not fan podcast us now. So, Rory Maul podcast. I can't wait to hear what Andrew Schultz and them got to say about it. Honestly, like, oh man, Friday is gonna be a blast watching fucking Charlamagne and fucking Andrew Schultz cut into them niggas. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. So, like I said, bro, I watched. He
aligning himself with Akademks. That's for a reason.
No, he don't want to be his enemy. You don't want to. He literally was on leaving fucking leaving Everyday Struggle every day, or at least twice a week, or once a week back then, and going to his podcast and talking shit about Ak. You know what I'm saying? Off his own emotions. It wasn't even like no power play back then. It ain't look like it looked like it was a power play, like towards the latter side of things when Ak started going, hey bro, till you niggas get in line. Like, it's literally a video clip, like this nigga going, yo, till you niggas get in line, I'm not letting up on you niggas. You gonna feel it. Straighten up, get in line. Right after that, they show Joe Budden next pod, nigga. In line, them niggas started bringing up Ak because he was in some shit with Meek Mill at the time. And that nigga Joe was like, what y'all think about Ak? And shut the fuck up and just look left and right, like, and let them niggas go back and forth. It was quiet as fuck. Ain't say shit. And from then on out, he didn't say shit about it. Because obviously Ak did something behind the scenes to go, pressure, nigga. Pressure. Now shut the fuck up over there, boy. So, I don't think it's a alliance type deal. I think it's a bow down to who's really the master of this shit over here. Because I'm going to make your YouTube suffer. You know what I'm saying? We know what's money over there. We going to make it suffer. The nigga literally took stopped really putting his video on YouTube like that. Like, it literally dropped later now on YouTube than it did before. And I think he took an episode away. So, it's like, I'm not paying for your Patreon anymore, for one. So, it's over. I think it's over. I'm ready for the Rory Maul podcast. Nigga, let's go. Because those was the niggas that made that shit, man. Real talk. So, I don't really got much else in the bag, man. We could do it. Is it a classic? But I think that deserves its own thing. Maybe we can do that later or another day or something. Who fucking knows?
That's some good weed, man. I'm high as hell.
Yeah, man. It's time for me to re-up as well, man.